Who's going to look after the reindeer? And what about the presents? Don't worry, I'm sure Mrs. Claus has it covered. Maybe you can lend a hand, Anna suggested. You'd make a great elf. Who are you calling elfish? I'll have you know that I'm exceedingly generous. He nudged her in the ribs, wiggling his eyebrows up and down. Anna realised years ago making bad jokes was as important to John as breathing, and if he wasn't already telling a joke, he was probably thinking about one. At 18, she'd given up hope of them ever getting any better. Still, he was the best thing about this town. She didn't know how she would have managed without her BFF over the last few years. What have I told you about the puns? She reminded him in a stern voice that didn't quite cover an attack of the giggles. While we're on the subject of elves, I reckon your pullover would be quite popular at the North Pole. John looked down at his ugly Christmas sweater in mock horror. You're just jealous because you're not the one dressed like a festive legend, he sniffed, proudly pushing out his pigeon chest and thrusting the whole mess in Anna's face. Oh, God, it's awful, she laughed, pushing him away. Wait for it, he replied. As if the mess of Christmas tree, gaudy baubles, snow and tinsel weren't enough, John pressed a hidden button and the whole thing lit up, fairy lights flashing on and off. You're a lost cause, Anna laughed, pushing him back across the seat with tears in her eyes. Get off me! John bloody loved Christmas, but Anna couldn't bear it. She had loved it as a kid, back when she was all excited about Santa and presents and trying to hide her advent calendar from her mum so she wouldn't find out she'd eaten every chocolate by the 5th of December. But that was before her mum had gotten sick, before she'd had to say goodbye. These days, on the scale of things she'd really rather not do, thank you very much, Christmas hovered somewhere in between having her teeth cleaned at the dentist and stabbing herself in the eye with a pencil. She missed her mum a lot. Anna? Something about her dad's tone made it clear it was not the first time he'd said her name. She gave her dad a forced, cheery smile. She'd gotten good at those. Sorry, I was miles away, she said, wishing she really were. Miles and miles and miles. I said, do you want to pick some music? He repeated, turning the radio knob. Any preferences? Before Anna could reply, a voice interrupted the static. We interrupt your regular programme with some sad news, the local DJ announced. We've just been informed that local Santa, Nathan Omerod, has sadly passed away. Before he could finish, Anna leaned forward between the two front seats and changed the radio station herself. News in Little Haven travelled fast, like it happened 2 minutes ago fast. All across the world, people were living exciting lives, going on daring adventures, and the most dramatic thing to happen in Little Haven was the town boozer, a.k.a. Little Haven's Father Christmas, had drunk himself to death after another bender. That's sad, Dad commented as Anna and John exchanged a silent look. I know his mum. I'll send a card. At least it wasn't the real Santa, Anna said under her breath. Right, John? Right, he agreed, dramatically wiping the sweat from his brow. Phew. Have you got your ticket for tonight? Anna looked up to see her dad grinning at her in the rearview mirror. I already told you, she said, pushing her long brown hair behind her ears. I can't go to the show. I've got to work. You deserve a break, love, he said, tapping the steering wheel in time to the music as they rolled along toward the school. You know what they say about all work and no play? Well, I don't need a break, Anna assured him, not to mention the fact she couldn't afford one. Beside her, John carried on eating his gooey donut, nursing his cup of coffee between his knees, and said nothing. The last thing he wanted was to find himself in the middle of an argument between Anna and her dad. It was December. It was bloody cold, and Tony Shepherd was his lift to school. And Anna, well, Anna was his everything. You won't be saying that next year when you're at university, and it's wall-to-wall lectures, Tony told her with a knowing cluck. What about you, John? Have you heard back from art school yet? John shook his head.